Americans drink a lot of beer. In fact, it's the #1 drink of choice for those who decide to imbibe, totaling about 26 gallons of beer for each drinking age adult in 2020. But thanks to climate change, our future beers may be a lot more expensive and not quite so tasty. Senior national and environmental correspondent Ben Tracy shows us why.
The New Belgium Brewery in Fort Collins, Colorado,
I love these guys,
is famous for its Fat Tire Ale and sizable supply of suds.
Now I'm big into pale ales. I'm drinking a sour right now.
But recently, CEO Steve Fetchheimer decided to craft a new brew.
Did you ever think you would purposefully brew a horrible tasting beer? It's not usually good business to make a bad product.
That left his brewmaster, Jeff Glor, a bit dazed and yes.
I was confused because I'm not usually asked to make bad tasting beers.
It's called Torched Earth, a beer that would benefit from its own chaser.
It tastes very burnt, but I would almost say Band-Aid if I had one word
Band-Aid
for what it tastes like. It tastes like eating a Band-Aid,
Oh,
unfortunately.
you're really selling this.
And that's okay because New Belgium doesn't really want you to buy it. It wants you to learn something from it.
What is the future of beer if we don't really address climate change?
I think beer is going to not only become very expensive, but is not going to be the same quality of beer that people get to enjoy today.
And so when we say expensive, what's a future six-pack if climate change runs rampant?
We've talked about a six-pack of Fat Tire costing $100.
The three main ingredients in beer are clean water, barley, and hops. All are threatened by climate change. Weather extremes such as drought and flooding are ravaging crops across the country. And this is the main source of New Belgium's water, the Poudre River just outside Fort Collins. Historic wildfires fueled by climate change have burned the forests in the canyon and polluted the river with ashen runoff, making the water supply at times unusable.
We view climate change as an existential threat to New Belgium.
So Torched Earth is a wake-up call for consumers. Instead of clean water, it is brewed with the smoke-tainted version. High-quality hops are replaced with climate-resilient dandelion root, and barley gets swapped for buckwheat.
What is it like to look forward and know that some of your essential ingredients either may not be available or are going to be a lot worse than they are today?
It's a window into how terrible things are at a somewhat selfish level. You know, that might be the least of our worries.
New Belgium is aware that beer pales in comparison to the deadly impacts of climate change already impacting the planet. The brewery is trying to do its part by powering much of its operation with these solar panels. Katie Wallace, New Belgium's Director of Environmental Impact, says Torched Earth is meant to start a conversation.
Some people could look at this and say, this is a bit of a PR stunt. What do you say to that?
If climate change is our client, then yes, it's a PR stunt for climate change. And the goal of that is to raise awareness for climate action.
So I guess this is the obligatory correspondent has to try the bad beer moment. Proper glassware, I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
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 Here's Mother Earth.
All right. Yeah, that's rough. It's bitter. Yeah, it's not good.
Jeff Glor, who, yes, is the younger brother of that other Glor, says Torched Earth is not meant to be putrid, but simply probable.
It was an exercise in exploring the way we might have to make beer, not how we want to make beer.
So is this the beer you'd send your brother?
Most definitely, I want him to always be learning.
Learning that if we don't combat climate change, happy hour could become something considerably more dour. For CBS Saturday Morning, Ben Tracy, Fort Collins, Colorado.
Aww. Sorry, a brother moment.
Nice. It's nice that he picks
Very
on
nice.
you, too. I like that.
He does. Well, I mean, I pick on him, too.
So
Ben had to taste, we have to taste Ben in addition to Ben?
Yes, the obligatory tasting.
Yes, let's learn something.
To the Glors,
To the
to learn
Glors.
something on this.
I like it.
I taste some of the
It has
bitterness.
it has a little
bitterness.
bit of a
Not as
little,
bad as I was expecting. So
trashy aftertaste,
it's
but it's
still
still
beer.
good.
Still beer.
It's not bad.
It's
Speaks to
still
us.
beer.
It's still beer.
And it's still a can, but
Yeah, that's not the beer I want, and I don't want it to be more expensive if that's.
It's not that bad, guys, really.
We're trying to convince people that.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding, Michelle. I'm kidding.
It's not.
I mean, you think
I
about
would
it though.
buy
With
it.
climate change, if this is what you're getting, this beer for more money, that's not what you want. That's their point.
I do like that when they ask about PR and whether it's a PR stunt.
Right.
And,
Yeah, PR.
and she says,
Yeah.
if our client's Mother Earth, then
Yeah.
fine. Right?
Michelle's okay with it though.
No, it's not that I'm okay.
Michelle's
with
going to be
it. No.
pounding.
It's just that this
scorched
is
earth.
probably what we're going to be left with if we don't get our act together. How about that?
I like that.
There you go.
There it is.